Alright, we're getting ready for the start of the final hour. It is the beginning of the end. Alright, so here's what the bank looks like for the final. We've got a 13 mil bank. Let me make sure there's nothing left over in my deposit box. Oh, a set of rune legs. Somebody could use that for rag gear. So let's give away these and the glory. Alright, so there is an alliance between Fools and Weed Blazers, and we've been aligned the whole tournament, sniping people out at Shiloh Village. Had a little bit of confusion with the Discord. Well, I got in the right Discord this time, unlike last time where I was in the wrong voice chat. This time I couldn't get into the clan chat because it's full. You can see me keep on spam entering it, but I'm listening to the voice chat. I got left behind because all the purple dots disappeared. I thought I was following purple dots, but they ended up going to Falador. I wasn't paying attention, and then I catch up to the clan and I find them and I'm like, hey guys, I'm here. And then they get on me, which is unfortunate, but they're like, some people recognize me and they're like, yo, fall in, join or die. And I'm like, I'm trying, I can't join the clan chat, I can't join the clan chat. And then they tell me the backup CC and everyone turns purple, and luckily I only had to waste like a brew and a half before I got in the right clan chat and everyone was purple. But they were telling me to join, and I couldn't join because I was eating. I just skipped it ahead a little bit to where I finally got in. It was kind of scuffed there. But yeah, then I joined the clan, and we were following orders and whatnot, spreading out around this area. Our clan was so massive, we had to split into a couple of different clan chats, actually. We had a bunch of white dots with us. Also, I was lucky enough to pick up a couple of extra brews and restores on the way to the final person, or the final location, rather, so my supplies did end up getting topped off, which was nice. Let's skip it ahead to where we rush in. Alright, so the telegrab worked out. I grabbed a couple of extra brews and restores, so I'm actually only down 2 sips of brew and 1 sip of Sandfew at this point, which isn't really too bad. I mean, a lot of things can happen that would make a person go down 2 brews, so I think that'll be okay. So what eventually starts to happen is another clan is pushing south from behind us. So we're getting ready to push north, occasionally taking out a greater demon here. I participated in a couple of clan man mode pilings. I've been piled by clans every tournament, so it feels alright to be on the opposite side of that. I don't agree with, clan man piling, but hey, it happens, it's part of the game. But just because that's the case, that it is part of the game, doesn't mean that I wouldn't be alright with changing it. That would be cool with them changing how that works. Like, I was thinking maybe you should only take damage for the hits that are visible on you. That could be fixed to it, because if 4 people hit you, then you can only take 4 hits in one tick. So if you've got like 20 people on you, 4 hits show up, you only take the damage for those 4 hits. Because I've been hit 4 zeros before when a clan's been on me and I've dropped, but that could be a potential fix. It would change the clan battle mechanics though, so I don't think that would ever happen, but I don't know, just an idea for fixing piling. So we've pushed all the way up to the gate here, and now the other team is starting to push north. You can see those white dots rolling in, and I don't know whether we're going to stand our ground and fight or run. And I see all the purple dots sort of dipping, so I dip with the crowd, and right up here I get frozen. And I'm like, oh shit, this is probably it. I'm frozen and there's a huge team behind me, but they're all scared to get too close to me because my team's right there, so they're trying to keep their distance, and I'm just chugging my brews and hoping not to get comboed out. I had Protect from Magic on, so I only got half frozen, and then we get into the final area and it's all white dots and I see a lot of damage going on, and apparently this is just friendly fire actually, because that's our team in there. That's the larger clan chat. So I'm caught between friendly fire from my team and I'm caught between the enemy clan's fire. So I just run straight in. I don't even realize that this is our clan at this point because I'm still not able to get in the main clan chat. But eventually I do get in the main clan chat and everyone turns purple to me. Let's skip ahead to that point because this is mostly just me trying to hide in the mass until I figure out who's actually on my team or not. Also, I was like really low HP, so I decided to switch to the full DH and see if I could take someone out. Silly me, these were my team members that I was doing damage to, but hey, miscommunication, couldn't get in the clan chat, it was full. I'm sorry about that, okay, my mistake. Well, you guys were attacking me too, so it happens. Some friendly fire went on, some supplies were wasted, but hey, in the end, it didn't really matter all that much because wait until you see what happens when everyone turns purple. So right now I just entered the clan chat and I've fallen into the key over at Greater Demons and we're all purple and I'm just sort of hanging out in the back because I don't have chins or barrage. So I'm like sort of one of the reserve fighters with my bolts and my Darok. I'm kind of like a suicider slash meat shield for when they break through the chins and barragers. And maybe I could lure people into the clan. I'm just, following orders, listening to calls, and taking advice at this point. Also at this point, I'm not expecting to make it to the 1v1s. I'm just trying to keep my clan alive and protect the main members and enjoy the time, have a good time, and pick up as much loot as I can. As for loot, I telegrabbed a whole stack of diamond bolts along with a rune crossbow, which I've now switched to, and take a look at this. Dragon boots on the ground. Actually, that wasn't in that pile yet, unfortunately. But I get the telegrab out and just start telegrabbing stuff. Skip it ahead a little bit more and we're all moving around. I've got the dragon boots at this point, ditching these dragon plate legs because I don't really need them, and I'm just looking around the little spots for brews and whatnot. My item overlay is only showing expensive high valued items that are over a mil cash, and there's a lot of them on the ground. Also, I've got like brews and supplies highlighted as well. But we're just running around and getting the white dots as we go. And then as we're starting to push to the east, where the other clan's starting to come through, we're dipping out of the keyholes. All of a sudden, it's like a big lag, and I'm scared. I'm like, oh no, I just lagged. I'm not going to make it to the finals. And then I see people talking, and then I'm like, what? And then we realize something's up. And then the message comes in that says that the tournament has been paused. That's right, the tournament was paused. And at this point, no one knows what exactly is going on. But let me tell you what happened, in case you didn't already know. Over at Falador, for the final hour spot, when they hit the certain number where they all got teleported to the final location, everybody got insta-killed. Everybody lost their bank keys because they were all skulled, well, because they died to player damage, and people lost their stats because they died skulled, and Jagex decided to do a huge reset. As you can see, the footage is now sped up, and we stay paused like this for a very long time. We've stayed paused for so long that the cat that I brought with me eventually turned into an overgrown cat. And it was just a normal cat. There's the item overlay off, so I can see now. I figured that since I can't really take anything and I'm pretty stacked on supplies and it looks like our clan is making it, I figured I'd mess around with the item overlay a little bit, see if I can clean it up some, but then I figured screw it, we'll just turn it off. It's mostly our clan here anyway. Might as well Yeah, and then we were all playing with the mechanics. We found out that you could attack somebody and turn their way. There's my cat over there in the middle of Anna Carl that's stuck on the bones. And yes, it does actually turn overgrown. We were there for so long. And it wasn't even an old cat either, it was fairly fresh. So let's do a recap on some of the tournaments so far and how they've been scuffed in certain ways. The first Deadman mode tournament ever, somebody won by tick eating the fog. The second tournament, I believe, was the Al-Kharid tournament. No, the second tournament was the Barb Village tournament, and that was where the glitch happened to where there were too many people in one area, and when you ate food, it didn't display. And so if you had brews, you could only do like one sip and your health would go up. But the items in your inventory weren't reacting to your clicks, but the HP was reacting. So that was just confusing, didn't know what was going on, ended up dying to confusion basically. Then the following tournament was the Al-Kharid tournament. Most of the people died to the Al-Kharid gate in that tournament because the fog came in and was just too deadly. I died because I couldn't get into Al-Kharid Palace because there was a hardly visible barrier that you had to enter in a single square area. Those that did enter it got one shot by rot on entry, and those who couldn't enter it because they didn't know about the barrier that was blocking the door, they got killed by the fog instantly. And people who were, looking away from the screen for 2 seconds, they got wrecked by the fog as well. And then there were a bunch of tournaments in a row where I just got one shot by a clan in the wrong place. A few times where I almost made it to the 1v1s. And then last tournament where I entered the safe zone at the last tick and was dead on arrival, killed by the fog, with my loot landing inside the safe zone. Not really a bug, just, the worst possible timing ever. But this time, I'm with the Weed Blazers clan. We made it to the final. I listened carefully to instructions. The shot callers were very good at what they were doing with instructing us on exactly where to be and where to spread. And they weren't just like, everyone run east, everyone run west, where my username kind of comes from. But at any rate, we had very good organization this time around. It's just that Jagex screwed up. I didn't really have stats to compete in the final anyway, and I didn't really have the best gear for the final, but I ended up looting some, and then we're all paused. And I'm not even expecting to make it to the final this time. I don't even really care. So we're all just sitting here paused, shooting the shit in Clanchat, then all of a sudden all these XP drops start happening. And I'm level 94 in every stat. I'm just going through the list. 94 agility, boom, 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 boom. 94 herb lore, like what? And then everybody's just like laughing and saying the fuck, LOL, and I'm just like, okay, look at all these stats. 94 in everything. That's way higher than what I had before. I had like 91 strength or 91 attack and 87 strength. I mean, it wasn't like really close to, it was kind of close to 94, but at the same time, what's with all the free levels? I don't even get it. So eventually they give us a 10-minute warning that it's going to start again soon and that everything's going to unpause. So in the team voice chat, we were all calling out who we were going to hit, and I got on this overtake guy right away along with everyone else and just kept on camping them. And you can just see all the white dots disappear because this was like an organized hit. They were in a very bad position compared to us because we were all piled all over the place. We had people in the key, we had people on the south, we had people on the north. We had our positions locked and covered. We were able to snipe everyone that was close to us, and everyone was close to someone. And we all just picked the best target in that area, and then went through and just started clearing out the white dots, and it didn't last very long at all. I think somebody in the clan chat also made the remark, yeah, just AFK and burst. AFK and blood barrage, you'll be fine. Because it was that easy for us at Anacarl. It like wasn't even fair. So even as a clan member myself, I enjoy playing solo. I do think that JJX needs to address some of these mechanics in order to make this better for solo people, because that's why I'm in a clan, because I have no chance at it solo. Well, actually, I have no chance at it solo because I'm horrible at PvP in general. I'm only really good at killing people who are on the same skill level as me. I'm nowhere near on the level of some of the top brids in this game, which is why I wanted to find the clan that has the best brids in it, that are trusting enough to actually split the money if I help them, and do that. Other times I was playing this game mode mostly for like the random chance at the money, the fact that it's interesting content as a YouTuber, and yeah, there was a lot more random chance before. It seemed like anyone could win it at any time because of all the random things that happen. You know, the loot spawns, people dying to silly things like Torvesta dying to a cave, and well, when Torvesta dies to a cave, I don't have to worry about Torvesta killing me in the final, you know. So things like that happen. People die in really strange ways, and everything's totally random. So I always figured I had a chance at it, but now that things are actually getting more fair, I decided, you know, it's better odds on my end to go about this in a clan. It's more interesting solo. I think you viewers like the solo content more because it is an MMO and everybody plays it differently. And when you're in a clan, it's kind of just, you know, you have a role and then your content is just that role. Like the content was strictly Barrows gear. But then all of a sudden, something happens, and I think it's another glitch, but then we teleport and we're in this little area, and I realize I've made it to the 1v1s for the first time ever in one of the tournaments where I tried the least to get to the 1v1s, with the exception of the time that I only hunted black chins because I had a lot of IRL stuff going on that time. I was with Weed Blazers that time too, and that's when I got the $160 split. But now here we are, and we're about to find out some interesting things about the whole situation with Falador and what they did while we were paused for well over an hour while my cat turned overgrown. I decided to keep the cat out because I figured it might be a little bit of a distraction. So there's that idea. Now, as for this first fight, I don't know who I'm fighting yet, but I'm pretty much in the mindset that if I get a real Brid against me, I've basically lost because I can't Brid. My goal was, you know, a supply run. I was the supply guy harvesting Barrows gear, but I ended up getting gear donated to me and then stats given to me because of this weird glitch. I think that was totally weird, totally unfair on my part. I got given a way better chance than I deserved for this because I was meant to just be a rag ranger in the final hour after gearing up the top grids. I would just rag, be a meat shield, and help my clan make it to the finals. And then I actually made it myself with gear, with stats, and then this guy shows up and I'm like, oh wow, I've got an easy first fight. This guy has almost nothing, and then pretty soon the bank chest spawns in. I'll skip ahead to that. But real quick, let me just emphasize that I did Barrows the whole season for Weed Blazers. I did 420 Barrows chests. I know it's possible to do more in a week, trust me, I have an Iron Man. But when there's PKers there constantly, and you have to scout it, and then you have to get supplies through other means, etc., etc., it cuts into the Barrows time a little bit, especially considering that I was just using Ivan's Dragon Scimitar for a rim for the majority of the Barrows. I started fairly low level and I got most of my stats at Barrows. I went from 60 to 98 magic, defensive casting, 420 Barrows chests, over 20 Barrows items given to the clan, mostly good items aside from the 4 Guthan War Spears, and then this happens with the bank chest. I go to click on the bank to take out my supplies, and what the hell? You saw my bank before I started this. What in the actual... I have 2 sets of full heirlooms, 2 rune pouches. I have 3 rune pouches in my bank now. Like, this is so scuffed. I've got a Torag helm, a Varix plate skirt. Like, Varix plate skirt is really hard to get. That's like one of the best in-slot defensive legs in the game. I've even got dragon boots and snakeskin boots. I was excited to have looted those dragon boots, but now literally everyone in the 1v1s has a V-skirt. Everyone has Barrows armor and a tank helm as well. Everyone's got pretty much max gear minus the PvP weapons and God Sword type God Wars weapons. So this was really disappointing to me because I worked really hard to get my clan Barrows items because those are really hard to come by and not everyone in the clan is able to dedicate that much time to it. But since I'm not a good Brid and I don't really stand a chance in the 1v1s, I was willing to dedicate my time to it and so that I could get a partial split of the winnings for gearing the best Brids that can compete in the 1v1s. So that means that my efforts, they didn't really go to waste because my team was still able to tank with that gear at the final location, but it just doesn't feel right, you know? Like, I do all this work for all these pieces, 420 chests, and then everybody just gets a free barrel set anyway with V-skirt and Torag helm. Oh, and also, as if this isn't enough, check out what happens with the second bank. Yes, they paused it again, and then there was a second banking. Also, I got over 1,000 free diamond bolts. So here's the second bank chest. I open it up and look inside, and there's a whip as well. Also, we got dragon defenders for some reason. I didn't even do any Warriors Guild at all whatsoever, and I was just given a free dragon defender. I had like 80s in my melees, now I got 90s. I had 70 range, now I have 94. You know, I get all this rims and stuff. And I also found out that you're able to drop food on the ground in the final spot. Let me skip ahead to where I was experimenting with that. So since I'm new to the 1v1s, I was sort of like testing the mechanics a little bit. I found out that you were able to draw the circle teleport. I didn't want to test to see what would happen if I actually went through with a home teleport, but here we go with testing this mechanic. I dropped a bunch of anglerfish on the ground, withdrew a bunch more, and I was able to do that, which I don't think is, you know, a good thing to have happen. I didn't want to get disqualified, so I ended up banking those and picking my normal food back up because that seems really cheap and cheaty, and like you should get disqualified if you try and do that, drop a bunch of food on the ground during a little bank session and leave it there to pick back up. But as you see here, I'm like, nah, that's not cool. I'm not going to take advantage of that, and I put the fish back into the bank and I pick up my fish after I do a little pre-pot. But I wanted to show this in the video that is a thing. I don't know if the guy I was fighting was doing that. I don't know if anyone else was doing that. And I did that just in time because right as I picked those back up, the bank chest disappeared, so I wasn't at a disadvantage. And then the fight began. Now then, as I've said before, I'm not good at PvP. That's why I was the Barrows guy. So you don't have to tell me I suck in the comments. I know I'm not a PKer. I'm not a PvPer. I can do decent at last man standing. I've won a few rounds of that. I can fight people who are on my level pretty well, like the same skill set as me. But this is the 1v1s of one of the biggest, hardest tournaments with some of the best Brids in the game. These guys are way superior to me in terms of skill. I've got about maybe 3 hours worth of PvP experience when it comes to like pure time of hitting an opponent. I mean, I've got hundreds of hours of bossing experience, and I can, flick around my prayers and one tick prayer flick all 3 Dagonoth Kings and stay there for an entire Slayer task and then some if I want to, but I I just don't have the time experience with PvP. So I was doing what I could, trying to switch my prayers here and there. I had that Darak on me, hoping for a lucky hit. The guy I was fighting was actually reset in Falador. He was one of the people who got insta-killed. But at any rate, let's skip to the end of this fight because it's really scuffed and I don't think you guys are too into what happens here because it's just a whole series of horrible flicks and failed attempts at Darak axing the opponent here. I did do some damage to him, but like I said, I don't know if he ended up picking up some of the food that he dropped on the ground or if he dropped some food on the ground before the fight. But we both had whips. We were both given whips. He didn't have a whip before they did the second bank thing. He only had a rune crossbow and a dragon dagger. I don't know if he had a whip beforehand or not, but as you can see, I'm low HP, chucking up the smite, half health, going for the Darak axe with the smite, just straight camping the axe. I know it's not the wisest choice, but then he does the freeze, and I switch back over to the crossbow and whatnot, and he stands under me in the spot where he was standing before, so he might be picking up food, he might just be standing under me so that I can't hit him, but I know how to spam click him so that I get a hit in off as soon as he gets out from under me, so it's not too big of a deal because I'm familiar with that mechanic at least. So I just skipped a lot of the fight and I'm up to this point here. I'm still trying to do the Darak's axe. I did some range switches and whatnot. I didn't camp the axe the whole time, but there's a nice hit and that took a big chunk of prayer points away, and then I get ranged for a 28 on the prey melee. I figured I'd be more susceptible to a whip hit than a bolt, but the bolt KO'd me, popped me in the head, plenty of supplies left over, but hey, that was one of my personal best tournaments, most Barrows runs I ever did, farthest I ever made it as far as the gameplay goes, made it to the 1v1 stage, first time I've ever done that, so I'm happy with that progress. I am bummed that everybody got a free set of Barrows gear, everybody got tank gear and a whip, which I think was pretty unfair, especially like to people in my shoes. Like say I was a good Brid and I did the same thing all week and I wouldn't have stood a chance with what I had, and then boom, they give us that and I'm a good Brid, I could win with that. So I think that aspect of it was unfair, but I do suck, so I didn't make it very far at all. So seasonals are coming up. I don't know what my plans are yet. I know I want to do some bossing, but other than that, leave a suggestion in the comments for what you want to see out of me for seasonals. I'm going to be 2 to 3 days late to it because I've got 3 videos to upload. Right now I only have day 1 of the Deadman tournament up. There's 2 more week videos and then this video, so that's 3 in total that I have to upload, and I've told you guys a million times about my scuffed ass internet. It takes literally a day to upload a 20-minute video, And this is a half-hour long video, and the other two are like 20 minutes that you've probably seen before this, actually. Hopefully. If not, feel free to check it out and you can see my barrels progress. But we're at the half-hour mark, so peace. See you in seasonals. Oh, lastly, since you've been looking at my bank the past 2 minutes I've been ending, here's a clip of the start. And let's juxtapose that one more time with the bank that we were given. So everything to the right of the dragon dagger was given to me. I'm so glad I did a clean bank video like this, because now you really get to see what people got in terms of all the gear and whatnot that was given to us. And you know what I went through. I didn't have that gear. This was the most scuffed tournament ever. It was kind of fair for people who are good at PvP. It was unfair to me to a degree because I farm barrows all week and then we get free barrows, so it's kind of like what I did was a little bit pointless, but at the same time it helped my team tank to the final. But I'd say it's more fair in terms of a PvP competition because people's stuff were relatively the same, so it was down to skill of, 1v1 combat as opposed to skill with your team members and getting you fed. So I don't know. It was mixed. I had fun though. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the results. I'm pretty sure my team won. So I will let you guys know in the future if I get a split and what that split is, because I like to be open and transparent, and I like to do the same with my donations as well, which is why I show all the donations I get in video, and also why I shout out people who donate with the Streamlabs link down below. Wink wink. Alright, well over half an hour now. Got that out of the way. Peace, guys. See you in seasonals.